A very good evening to you. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to Sports Tonight. This is the fourth edition of Sports Tonight for the week. Promises to be exciting, fun-filled as always. And we'd like to start by saying a very big thank you to you for joining us. My name is Tony Ibitoye. Let me introduce to you my partners starting off the show with me this Monday. Oyen Wuchi Wachuku, the news editor of Sporting Live newspaper. It's a daily all sports newspaper. Onye joins us on Sports Tonight as always on a Monday. Onye, I'm sure you had a wonderful weekend and good to have you on Sports Tonight.
Tony, thank you very much.
Was a quiet weekend somehow?
Yeah, quiet, but full of drama, particularly with the Golden Eaglets. What happened in Libreville. But thankfully they went there and the match was played. I think they can come back and wrap up the game.
An away fortnight.
An away goal
Valuable
is very crucial.
But then it doesn't take anything away from the fact that they still need to win that game.
Yeah, absolutely.
To book their place at the African Cadet Championship. We'll talk about it later on the show, and we'll also try to get you results of other CAF Under-17 games played across the African continent later on Sports Tonight. Tunde is also on the show tonight. Tunde, I was following Aston Villa's visit to the Anfield. To the Anfield, and I'm getting the feel that Liverpool were able to do as well last season because there wasn't this burden of the Champions League, the pressure of a Champions League game coming, knocking on the door. Could that be the reason why they slipped against Aston Villa?
I disagree. I think they're just they are particularly excited to be in the Champions League. I think it's just the burden of expectation of living to the particularly high standards that they set last season. And also there's also almost as many as 9 new signings, 8 in the team already who have
so the team is yet to gel. So you lost Luis Suarez.
Yeah. So it's just a disjointed performance, 2 wins, two losses. It's a team that is still trying to find its feet, and I think they had better get their acts together as quickly as possible. But that's what you said. The drama in Libreville actually started in Cotonou and Lomé before it actually got to Libreville. So we'll talk about that later on.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later on. But if you were with us on Friday night, we knew that the game was going to be played on Sunday because Demola Lajire spoke to us and told us what was the latest news as at that time on Friday that the Nigerian embassy in Libreville had intervened and that the players were going to be able to travel and play the game on Sunday. We will talk about the Under-17 Championship later on Sports Tonight. But before, let me just tell you what we'll talk about on the show tonight. Of course, we will continue our build-up. We started something a couple of days ago after our not too impressive showing against Congo, the Red Devils of Congo, and against Bafana Bafana South Africa. We said our next 2 games are must-win games. And we started talking and raising awareness about what we need to do to make sure that we win those 2 games. We are going to be playing 2 quick games against Sudan in Omdurman, and then we'll bring them to Calabar. And we need to sort ourselves out as quickly as possible to get those victories under the belt. We'll continue in that light on the program tonight. And of course, we will also take you to Abuja to talk about our girls. I'm talking about the Super Falcons. They are getting ready for the African Women Championship. We'll talk about it. We will also, later on the show, bring in Toby Adepoju. Toby is already in the house. And the reason Toby will be coming on the show is because the Globe Premier League, the Nigerian National League, will be resuming on Wednesday. And so what do we need to see after an unforced break? I mean, in tennis, we call it unforced error. The break just went on. Nobody planned for it. It just happened. And now that it looks like we've sorted out the crisis in the football house, the league is resuming on Wednesday. Toby will be here to talk about it and also talk to us about what the things should happen now that we're starting again the Globe Premier League and the Nigerian National League season. The AFCON, that's the Association of Professional Footballers of Nigeria, are also planning a meeting with club owners to look at claims by players that they are being owed monies, and they are looking at a way of resolving all of that. So that will be one of the things that Tubo will talk about when he joins us on Sports Tonight. And in case you are a lover of football in Europe, it doesn't get bigger than what will be happening tomorrow and Wednesday. UEFA Champions League will be taking center stage, and we will, of course, be spending some quality time to look at the fixtures for tomorrow, the fixtures for Wednesday, and then talk about issues from those games as well on Sports Tonight. We will also reflect on a little bit of boxing. Floyd Mayweather, 47 fights, 47 victories, amazing. And the way he did it against Marcos Maidana over the weekend shows that this guy could just retire unbeaten from boxing. So we'll talk about it, and then we will end the show with tennis as well. All right, so I think that's the setting for Sports Tonight this Monday. Let's start off by bringing you into the picture. We don't want to do all the talking. We don't want to listen to ourselves. We want your input on Sports Tonight, and it doesn't come bigger or better than what you have on your screen. Our feedback platforms, our feedback mechanism on Sports Tonight, Facebook, Twitter. We are going to be active. We will read your comments. We are also going to be very interactive. So please start now to send your comments to us. Tell us what you think. How do we make it 6 out of 6? I mean 6 points out of 6 points in October in the 2015 Africa Cup of Nations qualifier, Nigeria against Sudan. Please get busy. Talk to us. We will read your comments real time on the show tonight. All right, so that's the setting, and we will want you to talk to us, provide solutions to the problems we have at hand. How do we get around it? How do we solve our problems? How do we move from where we are? Third on the log, but that's not where we're supposed to be. We are African champions. We're supposed to be setting the pace. So we will appreciate you if you send your comments to us as we go along on Sports Tonight. All right, gentlemen, let's begin to crack these issues one after the other. Different stories today in the paper. Some version told us, Keshi says, I'm in town till the end of the month. Nothing happens, I'm off. And others are saying, look, Keshi's contract as Eagles coach will be renewed before the games in October. But my worry, Tunde, is that time is what we don't have. We know the situation in the glass house, up till now. Elections may not hold until 25th or 30th of September. October 1 is on us. 2 games in October. The same drama that we saw before the Congo game looks like it's going to repeat itself.
Well, I think I'm just particularly stunned that everything has dragged on for as long as it has. It hasn't helped anyone. It hasn't helped Keshi because, he's in limbo now. He doesn't know whether he has a job or not. The NFA don't know if they have a coach or not. The Super Eagles don't know if they have a coach or not. Everybody's in a state of uncertainty. And until that is adequately addressed, it leaves a lot of questions to be answered. It leaves a lot of things unattended to. And it leaves the African champions on the brink of elimination from the 2015 Africa Cup of Nations, which, in my opinion, would be a calamity. And the quicker that this is sorted out, the better. Well, Keshi has also put himself in a tight spot. Because if the negotiations had gone as well as they should have, he would have had a substantive contract by now. But going on the back of what has happened, they lost at home to Congo, then also the withdrawal to South Africa, his position has been weakened somewhat. So
to negotiate to me.
So the NFA might now decide to give him, they might feel they're in a position of power, might now decide to give him a contract that might not be to his liking, and therefore there is where the issues will rise.
But let me bring you, Onye, NFF General Secretary says what has happened in the last 2 games wouldn't affect whatever was on the table for Stephen Keshi. Because, we know what Keshi can do. We know how he likes to prepare his team. He came here on caretaker basis, barely 3 days, 4 days before a game. That's not Keshi's style. And that before the next game in October, it will be signed and sealed and delivered. Do you see the outcome of these 2 games having any impact on whatever Keshi will be going home with at the end of the day?
Well, there is no way it will not affect his bargaining power. Right now, his popularity has declined. Nigerians are, disappointed. The fans
can we really put all the blame on Keshi?
Fans are used to. You see, the issue is this.
Looking at how it came about.
Yes,
what
we know
happened in the
that
last 2 games.
some of the circumstances under which he worked, were beyond his control. But nobody cares that you work under a terrible environment. What they want is results, because they will also argue that when you win, you get the glory. We didn't share from all the largesse he got, from the state governors and philanthropic individuals. But the fact is that from what Musa Amado said yesterday, I also saw another story, where Keshi said he will be in the country till the end of the month, and if they are not able to reach an agreement, that he will leave for the United States. My worry is this: I hope Musa Amado, got approval from the minister, because it was the minister, even Keshi himself confirmed it,
that told him come and handle these 2 games.
And from my own interpretation, I think ideally, the NFF is supposed to be, negotiating with Keshi.
But there's no NFF in place now. The person will, NFF that is in place now is only concerned about 2 things.
Absolutely.
The Congress in Warri on Saturday, the elections that will come after that, and then they can start looking at Keshi's issue. And by the time that is happening, we are already in October.
Yeah, there's also another issue. What if the new NFA board comes in and they are not exactly Keshi fans?
It's another issue.
And they decide to look elsewhere. Because let us be candid, not everybody is a Keshi fan. There will be some who, in fact, as far as I'm concerned, the small poll I've done, there are a lot of people who feel that Keshi has taken this team as far as it has gone. So what if the new NFA board now come in and say, look, we want to look in a different direction, and say, Stephen Keshi, thank you for all your services. But I believe that Keshi is doing the right thing. As a coach who believes in his own worth, he's now putting his foot down and giving the NFA a deadline. That look, if this is not sorted out after this after this certain period of time, then it's better we both look for.
Let's put this in perspective. These last 2 games, Keshi came to honor a call. The sports minister, in his wisdom, said, "Look, we can't have a vacuum. Just come handle these 2 games before the next round of games. Things would have been sorted out." What can the minister do between now and the end of the month? There shouldn't be any waste of time.
Yes, the minister.
What can the minister do? Can we do another ad hoc?
No, the minister can set aside his, interest, ask the NFF that is existing now to discuss with him, put everything in pen and paper, sign a contract. No, because if the minister
and that's represented by the General Secretary, Musa Amado.
No, but like Tunde said, the General Secretary cannot take a decision on behalf of the board.
Because the new board could come in and say, look, we want to look in another direction.
The danger is that if the minister now goes ahead to discuss with him, and you know how this thing works, he may not be there by next year. The board can say, we didn't discuss contract issues with you.
But then the same applies with the present NFF as it is, because they are on their way, they are outgoing board.
No, but if you sign a contract,
they are an outgoing board.
If you sign a contract with the board,
binding.
It's binding.
If
If the Keshi enters in a contract with the minister, he cannot force it on the board. Do you understand? If he signs with the board, it's binding.
But if he signs with the minister, it's a different kind of.
No, Keshi is not going to sign a contract with the minister. What the minister did was just an ad hoc arrangement.
Yes, the minister,
to avoid having a vacuum. That look, just do these 2 games.
But you and I know that.
Are you guys seeing the situation whereby the new board comes in and they don't want to look in Keshi's direction? They don't have the time.
It's a possibility. But if a contract is signed now, they don't have any option. If you want to say he should go, then you have to pay him off.
Because this also happens, I mean, in states where there's an outgoing governor, there's a new governor coming in, and the new governor coming in says, look, don't sign any more contracts, don't release any more funds. But is that also a possibility with football?
But the coach will be protected because he has a clause.
Yeah, there was actually a case like that in English football where a club, I can't remember which club, signed a contract with a new manager. Just 30 minutes later, they called him and told him that the club had been sold. And the new owners did not want his services. So he was only manager of the club for a space of 30 minutes. So anything, as it is now, anything and everything is within the realm of possibility.
Anyway, let's look at Stephen Keshi. I had a chat with Keshi just a couple of minutes ago, trying to sound him out, and I can tell you that Keshi is already looking forward to the 2 games in October. In fact, Keshi has communicated to the General Secretary of the Nigerian Football Federation that preparations for the games in October against Sudan must start in earnest. Let's try to see on screen what Keshi is talking about. Keshi, preparations for Sudan must start now. Keshi says it is important that we correct some of the mistakes we made while preparing for the Congo and South Africa games. I have informed the NFF General Secretary that we begin preparation for the Sudan games now. My style is to open camp with quality home-based players in the league before the foreign-based players join in. I believe if we do that again, we will get the desired results in October. And we put Super Eagles interim coach, because actually his contract ended with a game against South Africa while waiting for the new one. Stephen Keshi. So this is Keshi's mindset. He's already told the team secretary, Dayo Enebi, the general secretary, look, home-based players will come to camp so time. They will be in camp for about a week or two. The foreign-based players will come in and join at that tempo. Unlike what we had before the game against Congo, where everybody just came in 3 days to the game, and it was clear that the team lacked fitness.
Keshi has to live with the reality that
but can this work?
We must follow FIFA rules. The FIFA rules say that 14 days before an international game.
No, that's when you can ask for the release of the players.
Release of players, and using home base, very good. Maybe if you are preparing an entirely home based team for a friendly or CHAN. No, but these home based guys, they are still going to be decamped.
Some of them,
most of them.
Yeah, but the good thing is, but the good thing is, the tempo in camp is already high.
Well,
by the time the foreign-based players come, the tempo in camp is already at a certain level.
But then it's like when you are boiling rice for 5 minutes, and now bring in raw rice again after 5 minutes. So you don't have a mix.
No, but that's how Keshi has always worked.
Yeah, but what I'm saying right now is that I think we are in a catch-22 situation.
Okay.
Keshi has been with this team for the past 24 months. He's the best person who knows the problems and how to go about fixing them. So because of the short time that we have no choice than to stick with Stephen Keshi in the interim. There is no guarantee that if you bring someone in now who does not understand, the peculiarities of this team, that he can get the required results. So what kind of Keshi will they give? What kind of contract will they give Keshi now? Will it be one that will just take them through October again, or take them to the end of the qualification?